So we're going to talk about this, everyone. This is the Red Bull story. It's all anyone wants to hear about. No one wants to hear about Formula One. The racing's already boring. The season's already over. Give the trophy to Max Verstappen now. Let's get on to the controversy, though, which is all kicking off. Everyone thought when it was announced, Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, well, that must be the biggest story we're going to have this year. Oh boy. This other story, again, has dominated, really, like, again, transcended Formula One, transcended sport, and become just like normies on the street know about this. But the fact of the matter is, the Red Bull Formula One empire, yeah, it's an empire, has been shaken to its foundations, and it could collapse, is the truth of it. So let's talk about how it started, how it's going, and where to from here. So what happened first? This kicked everything off. It leaked, or it got released, got strategically leaked maybe, that Christian Horner was being investigated for controlling behavior, manipulative behavior towards a junior member of his team, a female member of the team, and then that was it. But rumors were going bonkers that it was sexual, it was gonna be bad. Rumors that Jerry Halliwell was in floods of tears. This was going to be it. This was going to be the end of Christian Horner. It was all going down. That was all rumors. The investigation, there was an external independent investigation done, and everyone thought, well, I guess we'll wait, because there were so many rumors and the material was so sensitive. It was like, let's wait. We waited. Everybody, every credible journalist waited. Meanwhile, on Twitter, it's like open slather, craziness. So that's why I stay away from there. But the investigation happened. Just before the investigation was due to wrap up, all of these rumors really ramped it up, and they were like, Christian Horner's cooked. He's going to be shown the door. He is never, like, he won't be able to show his face in this town ever again. But then, just as the results of that investigation were about to get released, we start hearing reports Christian Horner's on his way to Bahrain for round run. Like, he wouldn't be doing that if he was guilty. And I guess probably while he was like on the plane, it gets released. Christian Horner cleared of any wrongdoing. And I mean, to say that raised eyebrows would be an understatement, the understatement of the century. So that's really the start of the story, and I don't want to get into too many of the details around that side of things, because first of all, so much of it was kept under wraps. Some of it is private business, and for sure there are people involved in all of that don't deserve any attention. They don't deserve to have jokes made about them or anything. So there's only so much really that I want to say about that. But the other thing that I want to say about that is that even though everyone thought that was the biggest, most important detail of this story, it's actually, I think, turning out to be one of the smallest, most inconsequential details of the story. Suffice to say that it was yet another time when there was an investigation into a senior male, white, cisgendered, whatever, privileged person doing things that they shouldn't have done, taking advantage of situations, and then an independent external investigation is done and clears them of all wrongdoing, which, like, that in itself is just disappointing and disheartening, and I just feel sad for everybody involved, frankly. But boy, then did it really go nuclear after that, because 24 hours later, someone anonymously, wink, wasn't me, all the evidence, supposed evidence from that case leaks. Now, the first thing to say is obviously that's completely unverified, that's actually evidence from the case. And I saw some people say, boy, this doesn't look very convincing. It looks pretty unconvincing, but I don't know, man. I think that looks pretty convincing stuff to me. The chatter, the messages, the photos that are included. I haven't even seen all of it. I've only seen what was sort of forced into my, like Clockwork Orange style, it was forced into my eyeballs. But I didn't seek anything out beyond what people showed me. Anyway, I mean, let's suffice to say that some of the rumors were backed up by this leaked evidence. You got to take all of that with a grain of salt. But that said, it all adds up, and it does not look good. It's very hurtful, I think, for Christian Horner's credibility. So that was obviously what was intended by that leak. If we're not going to get justice through the results of this investigation, let's at least try and get some justice by hitting Christian Horner where it hurts, which is in the court of public opinion. So, fair or not, that's what happened. Obviously, questions start to get asked about who would have leaked it. And you might think probably the victim in question, because they were probably disgruntled, feeling like the investigation let them down, feeling like things didn't go their way. That said, that person works at Red Bull, is apparently still employed. Sure, they might have been disgruntled or what have you, but would they stand to gain the most by leaking all of that stuff? And then what happens? Old mate Jos Verstappen logs into the chat and decides that he is going to light a fire underneath Christian Horner's ass so bad he's going to wish he was never born. And people start speculating maybe Jos leaked all of this evidence. Someone said that it was emailed to a whole bunch of people at the FAA, a whole bunch of team principals, and a whole bunch of journalists. This is funny too. Everyone who got that email goes to pains to point out all of this, the permanently accredited journalists, all of the career journalists, the most distinguished journalists got it. Like everyone who got sent that email falls over themselves to make a point about how distinguished they are to be getting it. But someone said on that list of people that got it included Jos Verstappen, which you almost have to wonder, like, why would you send it to Jos Verstappen? Unless, I mean, again, does this add up? You tell me, does this add up? If he was the one that leaked it, did he deliberately send it to himself to throw people off the set? Like, I know, I'll send it to me, and that way, why would I send it to myself? That doesn't make any sense. This is like Elon Musk pretending to be that other guy. Anyway, like I said, Jos really starts to involve himself as a major character in this story. One of the things that happened for the first round, like I said, Christian Horner flew into Bahrain. That was the first indication that the report, at least, had cleared him, and he was going to be around. Like it or not, he was going to be around. He was on the pit wall for most of the weekend, except for FP3, where reports went crazy that he was absent from the pit wall during FP3 because he was called into a meeting with Mohammed bin Sulayem and presumably a whole bunch of FIA lawyers. And people started saying, oh boy, that's bad. You don't want to be in a meeting like that. And if you're Christian Horner, it could only be bad. And I started thinking, I don't know. I actually feel like that might actually be good for Christian Horner. All this evidence just leaked, and then shortly after that, it was announced that, oh, by the way, journalists, anyone who thinks about publishing any of that, you may have some sternly worded emails coming from the FIA lawyers headed your way. So I suspect that Christian Horner was seeking the help of Mohammed bin Sulayem to say, help, make it go away, do whatever you can. Get rid of these nasty people who are doing this to me. Anyway, so what happens next? I wanted to share this because I think this really, it really is remarkable how much Jos Verstappen gets involved and some of the things that he said. And he doesn't really have any plausible deniability anymore. So if you ever look at some of these quotes, this is from the good people at The Guardian. Jos Verstappen wants Horner removed as Red Bull risks being torn apart. Photo of here from probably, 5 years ago. Nice watch. Good stuff. Oh, this is from Pit Lane 2024. So this was from last weekend. Jos Verstappen speaking to the Daily Mail. So, of course, if you're Jos Verstappen and you're like, I got stuff I need to say, the truth must get out there. Who do you speak to? The newspaper of record, that bastion of truth and justice, the Daily Mail. Jos Verstappen, speaking to the Daily Mail, declared publicly for the first time that he believed Horner should go. There is tension here while he remains in position, he said. The team is in danger of being torn apart. It can't go on this way. It will explode. He's playing the victim when he is the one causing the problems. Now, this whole case was supposed to clear Christian Horner. We're all supposed to move on. So these words here, he's playing the victim when he's the one causing the problems. Is this a bit of a self-tell here from Jos? He's the one causing the problems. You could definitely argue that Jos is the one causing the problems here. Verstappen Sr. has been accused in some quarters of attempting to oust Former from his job. But the 51-year-old father of Red Bull's three-time world champion said, that would make no sense. Why would I do that when Max is doing so well here? Well, yeah, gee, I don't know, Jos. Why would you do that when Max is doing so well here? There are rumors that not only does Jos Verstappen want Christian Horner gone, but that, well, this is from the most reliable source there is, Gerhard Berger, that Verstappen will move to Mercedes, that Helmut Marko and Adrian Newey will all leave Red Bull if Horner is kept on. So a couple more details came out about the way the weekend around the Bahrain Grand Prix went down. First of all, it was alleged or released by whom? Jos Verstappen. By who? It could have been anybody. Jos Verstappen. It was definitely Jos Verstappen. Telling the mess, the Daily Mail told the press that the Red Bull CEO had decided to release Christian Horner and even had drafted a press release to the effect that Christian Horner and Red Bull would be parting ways. And the details go that Christian Horner's lawyers intervened and saved Christian Horner from dismissal. Now remember, there would have been lots of lawyers involved in this. Remember also, people draft press releases for stuff all the time. And remember also that there was an investigation. So I don't know whether Christian Horner's lawyers being involved and saving his skin, was that just part of the investigation? Because that's what lawyers are supposed to do. I don't know. But if you listen to the rumors, supposedly Christian Horner was out the door and then he went, no, my lawyers would like to have a word, please. And they were like, I think you'll find in Appendix 29.5, Section D, it says Christian Horner must be Red Bull principal forever. And so he remains. But it's one of those details that it must have come from someone on the inside if it's true, right? Could have been anybody, Jos Verstappen. So he leaks all of that. Let's just say, hypothetically, he leaks all that stuff. He gives all those quotes to that newspaper. From there, things start to get a little bit speculative by its nature because we're starting to get into what might happen next territory, right? So I don't usually like to report on rumors or talk about like, might this happen or might that happen? Because who freaking cares? When it's true, I'll talk about it. But a couple of things happened. For example, like when the investigation was happening, Toto Wolff was very vocal to say like, yeah, this doesn't seem good. This doesn't seem like a good thing. We should have more transparency. Also, in the paddock, Jos Verstappen was pictured talking to Toto Wolff. Now, that absolutely would not have been the first time that they'd ever spoken, but it really started the rumors going that Verstappen might like leave Red Bull. Mercedes have got a seat opening up next year. Just saying. There was also very grainy, very like spy cam style footage of Horner and Jos facing off behind glass. Sounds like they were like shirtless, getting oiled up or something. Just talking, but in a heated, animated way. And, you know, once it gets characterized as Horner and Jos Verstappen in heated discussion, and that's all anybody can see. But it's one of those things that's like a little bit of suggestion going on there. It was just an animated discussion, but it could have been about anything. That said, I mean, it was very likely about, Christian Horner going, why did you tell the paper all that stuff? Let me see your Google Drive history, etc. But it's just funny that Toto Wolff weighing in, saying there should be more transparency into this investigation. Don't you think, guys? Apparently, Toto Wolff was asked, what about Verstappen coming to Mercedes? Could that happen? And he didn't deny it. Now, look, Toto Wolff is a shit stirrer from way back, and he knows that when he doesn't deny it, that people are going to lose their minds over that. This is also the same week that Toto Wolff says, oh yeah, it was always part of my plan to let Hamilton go because I'm just so keen on this youngster, this guy, I forget his name, but it's like Kimi Räikkönen, but with different letters. I'm so keen on this youngster that I was happy to let Hamilton go because I didn't want to lose this youngster. And then all of a sudden Max Verstappen might be available and they're like, forget that. Yeah, we wanted Max. That's what we want. Lastly, there's Ford. Ford are supposed to be coming on as a power unit manufacturer, badged and working closely with Red Bull. When all of this investigation stuff kicked off, and, let's just remember, it was an investigation into whether or not Christian Horner and someone on his staff were sending messages to each other that their partners wouldn't have liked, right? There was rumors that because of that, Jos Verstappen was going to pull Max Verstappen out of Red Bull and send him to Mercedes, and that Ford were apparently going to rip up their contract and try and find a way to get out of their deal. I mean, I find that pretty hard to believe. There's also people who tell me they're like, well, no, this is like a power struggle that actually goes back to like the middle of last year. So that has nothing to do with the investigation. This has been an issue since Dietrich Mateschitz passed away. There's been a power struggle for control of the assets and the direction and just the leadership of Red Bull Racing. So on one side, you got Jos Verstappen and his backers. On the other side, apparently Christian Horner and everyone who wants to get behind him. And these two, they're butting heads. So the rumors that Ford are trying to get out of their contract was sort of given some credence by a couple of quotes from someone associated with Ford saying, yeah, it would be good if you guys could wrap that up, please, because this doesn't look good. But rumors that they were trying to get out of their contract have been, I've seen just as strong and just as credible rumors the other way saying, no, that's stupid. They're not trying to get out of their contract. They just want clarity on what's going on. So look, we'll see. The problem really is this whole case now has been tried in the court of public opinion. And I think Christian Horner's reputation pretty much hangs by a thread. The slightest thing, and Christian Horner will be gone. I think it's the official super license take that he won't, that his days are numbered. He probably won't see out the season because this is just my hunch personally, but I think there's going to be more stuff to come out. Might not be on the same level as the other investigation, but something somewhere is going to come out, and it's just not going to be good. So that's why I'm calling this Christian Horner versus Jos, round 1. Stay tuned for round 2. See you next time.